guys, and welcome back to the Going Bookshelf. Today's going to be a little different. I am going to talk and review a little bit about 3 books that I read. It's a trilogy of chronicles. It's kind of called a chronicle. But I'm going to talk about the Nevernight series, or Nevernight Chronicles. So the reason why I'm doing this in 3, or doing all 3 books together, is because when I started listening to this book, or this series, we hadn't started this yet, so, and then once we already did it, I was already into book 2, so I was like, I'm just going to wait and finish this, and do the whole thing together. So, there are 3 books, Nevernight, Godsgrave, and Darkdawn. So I listened to them on audiobooks through Libby. I had a long wait for the first one, so apparently everyone was really wanting to read this book. But the books are written by Kristoff. I will say his writing was a bit different. Overall, I loved the series. Really cool, really funny, very witty. All the characters they were great. It follows this girl who watched her father die or get killed, and her mother taken away from her, and her baby brother, and it sets her on this course for revenge and wanting to become an assassin just to be able to get back at the people who killed her parents. So it follows her through the going to the Red Church, which is an assassin school, to become a blade or an assassin, for the sole purpose of to kill the people who murdered her parents or her father and took away her mother. Mia she has a mouth. She has a very dirty mouth. She cusses like a sailor, and it is awesome. And she gives zero craps about it. She's really cool. I liked her. Stubborn as all hell. But she's awesome. And one of the other characters, Trick, he's really cool. He was a lot. I expected a little bit more, I guess, from him. He was very quiet, kind of like middle of the road quiet for me. But there is another character named Ashlyn. She is kind of like a little bit of a pistol. She was fun. She was kind of fun to read about. But so yeah, and Nevernight kind of goes through Mia's progress on attending the Red Church and becoming an assassin. And I'm not going to give any spoilers away, so this is going to be, it's probably going to sound more like a discussion than a review, just mainly for that purpose, because I don't want to give away the spoilers, because these books are newer. Like Darkdawn came out in 2019, so it hasn't even been out, I don't think, a full year yet. So I can't give out too much of anything. But so yeah, we follow Mia through that with Nevernight, and learning her place, and then learning her place, and the system for the Red Church and stuff. Then in Godsgrave, we follow her through. She's starting to kind of try and put her plans into motion. To get to this one person, this Julius Scava, who is one of the main people that she's going after for the murder of her father. And there's so many twists and turns that I couldn't. It wasn't very easy for me to try and guess as to what was about to happen. So I really did like that. It was really cool, because I hate in the middle of a book trying to figure out, trying to analyze, well, this is going to go this way, then this is the way it's probably going to end. And then when that does happen, I do feel a little disappointed, because I already experienced those emotions in the middle before it even happened. This one I couldn't do that with, so it was a little hard to guess the plot twists and stuff like that. Some of them were very much, holy crap, what did I just hear? And then with Darkdawn, how do I talk about this without giving anything away, because so much happens in Darkdawn. Gosh. I don't know if I can really even talk about Darkdawn, because without giving anything away from the first two, or even giving away stuff for this one. But it was awesome. It was so good. I know that's a really, really crappy review for that book, but so yeah, I mean, like, the characters were just, they were really funny. They were really witty. There were certain parts of the actually not even certain, there was quite a few where I had to just completely pause it so I can like laugh out loud, because the character had said something that it was so smart-assy. It was perfect. It was awesome. So one particular trait for these books is these books apparently have footnotes. It's kind of hard to hear or to visualize the footnotes or where they take place at with the audiobook, so I'm not like 100% sure where the footnotes fit in for the actual tangible book, but there are footnotes. And I like that the footnotes, they are given to where we can get a history of the world, or a description of the world, a history of past events that have shaped the world today, or part of the characters for this world. So it gives you that information without overloading it through third person narrative, because that's the way the books are told. The story is told through third person narrative. So a lot of the information, the footnotes is very, very funny. It's dark humor, which I love, but yeah, it was just those footnotes. It was almost like, what's the next footnote going to have? What information, what funny little quirk or saying is going to be in this? I will say that in Darkdawn, the footnotes, so the characters figure out that the footnotes, or what the footnotes are, because they have found copies of Nevernight and Godsgrave, and they're reading through the books, and they see these footnotes, and they're like, what kind of author puts footnotes in his own book? And they just make little comments and little snide comments towards the author for making these footnotes. Like, the hell? Why would you put footnotes in your books? They also, like, a little thing, in Darkdawn that I can tell you is the characters almost become omnipresent. Is that the right term? They become almost omnipresent with the fact that the characters are then talking smack towards the author himself, with the footnotes, with some of his descriptives. Like, there are a few sex scenes in the books, and this is YA, but there are a few sex scenes in the books, and like one of the characters makes a comment. I was like, well, this is written by a man, and everyone's like, how can you tell? The sex scenes. And the way that she starts repeating some of what the author had written, or what's in the books, towards these characters during their sex scene, and she's like, no, this does not happen this way. This is not how it really is in real life. So like only a man would be able to write this. Which when that happened, oh my god, I had to like stop the car and like completely like laugh, because it was so funny. Yes, it was just so the footnotes are kind of, the footnotes in the narration in and of itself is kind of also like a character. And the like I said, the other characters, Mia and Trick and Allison, Ashlyn, and some of the other main players in this book realize that what it is, that they're making fun of the author. It's really, really funny. The overall feel of the book I loved. It was very dark, very gory, and funny. There is a lot of dark humor. There is a lot of language. I don't think I have quite read a YA book that had so many F-bombs. It was a book after my own heart. So, because yeah, that's my humor, my language. So each ending of the book, there was no quite happy ending, and there's not like your fairy tale, like both characters run off into the sunset type thing. That didn't happen, and it always left me guessing as to what or how this was going to end, because he didn't play into the stereotypical writing style for endings and stuff like that. It was very, very different. Like in the first book, one of the character dies, and the whole entire time, like from that point that character dies until the very ending of the audiobook for Nevernight, I was expecting that character to somehow have survived, because there's been other authors that have pulled that move, that have killed off a character and then has somehow miraculously they were able to survive, and they came back in the nick of time to help the main character fight off the baddies and win the day. No, that was like, I almost felt like I was almost a little angry. It's like, why would you do that? Why wouldn't you bring back this character? He was awesome. Why didn't you bring him back? Well, because it's different. He did not follow the same typical blueprint for the ending or these characters. It was really, really refreshing. And even still, like, in this, I can't say it. I can't say it because it leads into other questions in other book and the other parts of the books. But yes, I liked it. There is one, really there's only one thing I could think of that I really quite didn't like about these books, is that there were parts that were really kind of just drawn out and slow. There were parts that were more slow burner than anything. And I found myself wanting to, would it please just hurry up? There wasn't many, but there were a few. There was a couple places in the first, and in Nevernight, and in Godsgrave, and then in Darkdawn, that were just like, I'm just listening to listen to it because I want to get through. I want to get past this part to get into the good parts. So that was like, that's really just my only like negative review for it, is just that. But overall, I mean, I really did enjoy this book series. And I feel like I do need to mention that, so the character, so two characters, Mia and Ashlyn, do actually become a couple. And that was really interesting to read about, like, for, I guess, a lesbian relationship. Because most books, or most authors, do man-woman. And I haven't read many, haven't found many that have, or at least that fit within my wheelhouse that I do read, that do like a lesbian couple. So that was really cool. And like, okay, so maybe there might be two things that I wasn't quite happy with. So like when these two characters get together, it wasn't quite like, oh, she felt butterflies in her stomach for this character, or she felt her heart race in the presence of this character. They kind of gravitated towards each other for, not survival, but release. and there was a lot of things going on in the second book that Mia was, you know, she could die at any second, and she was craving that type of. She was craving a type of interaction or relationship that was like no holds bar, and Ashlyn was able to give that to her, and so you almost kind of, I don't want to say forced relationship, but it was different than reading about, oh, character A over here has goosebumps and butterflies every time character B walks into the room or in their presence, or, you know, stuff like that. Just stereotypical starting relationship stuff he didn't write about. Jay Kristoff did not write about that with Mia and Ashlyn. So again, it was a little different. Not bad at all. Just different. I wasn't quite used to it, but it was really refreshing to be able to see a different take, different point of view from that. But yeah, so let's see. Yeah. I know I didn't really talk much about Darkdawn, but that's just because, like I said, it has just come out. It's a brand new book, pretty much. And like, I don't want to give anything away, because giving things away for Darkdawn gives things away from Godsgrave, and then gives some things away from Nevernight. Give some things away from Nevernight. Sorry, cat jumped. But the humor is great. It's dark. It's funny. It is gory. It is just really entertaining to read. I do want to get the books at some point, and there's the design for the covers of Nevernight, Godsgrave, and Darkdawn are described actually in the third book. So in Darkdawn, we kind of get the there's cover references for the books. So, and Jay Kristoff has those books available, like the covers of those books available. So I do want to get those. Those are really good. This is the first books I've ever read from Jay Kristoff. I do own a series that he co-wrote with, I want to say it was Amy Kaufman, but I could be wrong. Don't hold me on it. But the Illuminate series, I do have that, but I haven't read it yet. So that is on my to-be read shelf. But anyways, so that is the Nevernight Chronicles. Like I said, I looked it on. Like I said, I rented it on Libby for the audio version, so it was really easy to find. All three were there. Narrator the reader was really good. But yeah, check it out. If not Libby, go to your local library, Barnes & Noble, or order them or buy them online from Jay Kristoff's website, I believe. I believe he has that. But yeah, so, and before I go, I want to thank I've been doing that. I want to thank Button Masher Gaming and Jared's Rants and Reviews for the awesome shout out. Thank you. And if you like game reviews and movie reviews, check them out. They're funny. They're awesome. Jared is so informative about his movie reviews. And the kids are awesome with Button Masher Gaming. Button Masher Gaming. They're funny to watch with their favorite game reviews and favorite movie reviews and stuff like that. Go ahead and check them out. And I want to give a shout out to We the Best for any and all the tips and comments that y'all have given us for our little setup here. And if you need any CBD knowledge or have any questions about CBD, check out their YouTube. They are very informative with their CBD presentations. But until next time, I will see you later.